Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome to another double unboxing. Christmas may be over for one more year, but that doesn't mean to say we can't open a few late presents, does it? Now I'm actually getting a bit ahead of myself. I try not to do another double unboxing until I've given full reviews of both of the watches from the previous double unboxing, and I've reviewed neither of them. Those being the Hamilton Khaki mechanical hand winder, that cute little one with the new movement and the 80-hour power reserve, and the excellent looking Citizen Eco Drive diver. I promise I'll get onto those as soon as possible. Believe it or not though, I didn't get any watches for Christmas. That's my excuse, and I've been itching to get into these two boxes today. Now, this video is sponsored by JOMASHOP. They sent me these two watches for free. I don't have to return them. In return, I'm sure they would like me to direct you to their website, and indeed I will leave links to both of these watches in the description of the video. I say it every time, if you're in the market for a new watch, you would be crazy not to at least check the JOMASHOP price, because it's usually the sharpest. For example, the Orient Kamasu that I've got today is less than $200 and the Bulova Lunar Pilot $319, and that's for the special edition. I've really been looking forward to getting into both of these watches. I've had one eye on the Lunar Pilot for the last couple of years now. They reissued this model in 2015 as an homage to the one that went to space on the Apollo 15 mission in the 70s. You don't have to spend $4 on an Omega Speedmaster, therefore, to get a little bit of lunar cachet in your collection. And the Orient Kamasu, that one kind of flew under the radar. Not many people gave it all that much attention at the beginning of the year when it was released, but I think the death knell of the Seiko SKX in August-September has meant that a lot of people are now looking at the Kamasu as its possible replacement. And indeed, I've got some big plans for mine, which I'll tell you about. Does it live up to the billing? Let's flip the camera and peel off some stickers. No watches for Christmas. I can't quite believe that. Don't people know me? Or perhaps they do know me and they figure I've already got enough watches. Anyway, this is kind of like Christmas. Two boxes here and some stickers to peel, Orient and Bulova. Now I'm going to start first with the big Bulova, and I'm going to come back for the Orient in just a minute or two. Now, there's a clue in there as to why I haven't rushed out and picked up one of these Lunar Pilots previously. Big. They say they were quite big, whoever they are, I'm not so sure. 45mm diameter dimension in this one, but I hear they were quite big and quite flat, so we're about to find out. Now the special edition one has an extra strap. I believe it has a NATO strap, just like was worn in 1971 by Dave Scott, the captain of the Apollo mission. Indeed it does, as well as the standard carbon fibre-esque strap here. Let's get a zoom in. So what do we have in the box today then? Well, various bits and pieces, including this nice little, if rather small, booklet detailing the Apollo 15 mission from 1971 and the Bulova's part thereof. Now, I peeled the stickers off Mr. X's Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch a number of years ago, and it had an enormous box and an enormous booklet, but an enormous price tag. If you want the regular one of these without the NATO strap, I think it comes in well under $300, so you can forgive them for putting in a slightly smaller booklet. Warranty and instructions. Now, this one from JOMASHOP, so JOMASHOP cover the warranty themselves. You do get an additional certificate of authenticity, and I love the top line. This timepiece is an authentic replica. Two-piece Velcro style strap, including the frequency that the movement runs at. And what we're really interested in, of course, the watch itself. Let's peel off those stickers then. And this being a quartz, it also has the little retainer here, the battery saver. Get rid of that. Squeeze in the crown. And we're off. Seconds hand ticking away, small seconds ticking away there at the register at 6. So 45.5mm in diameter actually, but it's this one I think that put me off. 53mm lug tip to lug tip. Bit of curvature to the lugs, but no curvature to the case to speak of. It is quite flat. Because it's a quartz movement though, only 13.5mm thick, and I think a good choice. Very much a kind of vintage choice, going back to the late 60s, early 70s. Big watch, Small lug width, 20mm lug width, and it doesn't weigh all that much either. Weighs at 60 grams on this supplied strap. Now the supplied strap, kind of faux carbon fibre weave on top, I'm not quite sure. Leather back though, so it should be fairly comfortable in operation. I'll let you know for the full review whether this one does kind of conform and begin to flex a little bit. Check that case back. You've got the tuning fork. This is an ultra high frequency quartz, and there's some details there underneath the fork of the Apollo 15 mission. Dates and timings and takeoff and landing, etc, etc. The same mission that this watch was a part. There's an interesting story apparently. The guy who wore the watch in space, he was due to wear the standard issue NASA Omega, but it broke just beforehand, so he used his own personal watch. Conveniently, he had one of these lying around, didn't he? It sold at auction recently, his original watch, for 1.6 million, but you can pick one of these reissues up for the much more reasonable price of around $300. So 316L stainless steel case, crown, pushers, and it's a piece of flat sapphire crystal. I would say that was top hat sapphire, not domed, flat, and it just juts out. Again, I'll be interested to see how that goes long term, whether I'm catching that one on things, possibly chipping the edge of it. It shouldn't chip because it's sapphire, but you never know. Anyway, again, a very interesting look. The whole watch, I must say, looks gorgeous. All black and white, very clean, very easy to read. So crown in the middle for adjusting the time. Top pusher, bottom pusher for the chronograph. Okay, so let's have a play with the chronograph then. One push of the top pusher to start, and off we go spinning. Now 262 kilohertz, this is an ultra high accuracy quartz movement, ultra high frequency, accurate to within plus or minus 10 seconds per year. Now that is even more accurate than my Breitling Aerospace that costs about 10 times the price. Bit of a marvel. If you don't mind quartz, this one, how much tech they put on your wrist with all that lunar provenance for not an awful lot of money. Now we're coming up to 30 seconds. Again, the chrono timer, this big second hand taking it 5, I think 6 times per second. You notice there that the little subdial at 3, the register there at 3, which measures the tenths of a second. So you've got a fifth of a second capable of being identified on the dial just using the chapter ring there, but you can break it down even more accurately if you want to use that subdial at the 3 o'clock. The subdial there over at 9 o'clock is a 60-minute chrono timer, so that's us. We've got 60 minutes timing capability with this one. Back up to midday, so I'll stop it again using the top pusher. That little register springs into action, so it's 0.4. Reset with the bottom, and it's the slow reset back up to 12. All of it very nicely legible. There's some loom here as well. I'll show you some loom during the proper review. Some nice facets to the dial. The chapter rings recessed, as are those 3 registers there as well. And there's a colour matched date wheel down at the 4:30. So, were they right? Is it big? Well, yes, I suppose it is quite big. It is quite flat. Not a lot of curvature. I've got a 7-inch wrist for your reference. I don't feel it looks stupid on me though. I still think that it's quite wearable, perhaps because of the weight, perhaps because of the narrow lug width. This strap is stiff straight out the box. It'll be interesting to see to what extent this one loosens up over the coming weeks between now and the full review. But super legible. Love that colour scheme. Simple, stark, crisp black and white. It looks great. And there we are, that's the proper overhead shot. You tell me, does this one look too big for me, or does it look like it fits me well? Perhaps you've owned one of these in the past, perhaps you are a current owner. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section of the video. But so far so good with this one. I heard it wore a bit like a dinner plate, but maybe it's a saucer, maybe it's a side plate, certainly not a main course plate. There's hope for this one yet. Talking of hope, the Orient Kamasu seems to be the great hope of the budget diver brigade at the moment, and getting some pretty good reviews on YouTube and elsewhere. Fairly basic packaging. I think this is only the 4th or 5th Orient that I've reviewed on the channel. They come in these fairly stout little boxes, soon disappear into a cupboard anyway. Now, I got the black one. I went for the kind of standard black one. They have green model variants, they have a red one as well, but I thought I would go sensible with this and just go for the black one. Let's peel off some more stickers, shall we? No dial sticker, I'm afraid, but plenty on the bracelet to keep us amused. All done. There is a hang tag here, a solid plastic hang tag just with the model number. Orient, like Seiko, are good at these catchy model numbers. This is the RAAA0001B19B. Thanks for that, Orient. Now, alternatively, I have seen this advertised as the Mako 3, though I think more correctly known now as the Kamasu. There's also one little bit of paper that you may have missed that I think is this watch's big draw card. Sapphire crystal. So for less than $200 US, you're getting a watch that is effectively made by Seiko, Seiko own Orient, with an in-house hacking and hand winding day-date complication, screw-down crown, 200 meters of water resistance, and a piece of glorious flat sapphire crystal on the dial. If you watch this channel regularly, you know that my biggest complaint is Seiko cheaping out by putting hard legs on their watches. Yes, there is that argument that it'll scratch and not shatter if you're diving, but I would much rather have a piece of sapphire and take that chance. I've never shattered a piece of sapphire, but I've scratched a bunch of mineral crystals. So that's it, size to fit, push pins in the bracelet, no problems at all. 42, just under 42 mil in diameter, though I must say it doesn't look like it or feel like it particularly. 13 mil thick, bang on, but only 46 mil lug tip to lug tip. So it's another one of these watches that's going to wear really nicely. 22 mil lug width, tapering down to 20, back up to 21 at the clasp. Sized up for me, 7-inch wrist, this one weighs in at 156 grams. So I'm guessing the piece of sapphire adds a little bit of extra weight over the mineral crystal from previous Makos 1 and 2. 316L stainless steel, and as I said, it is an in-house Orient-made hacking and hand winding auto. Usual 120 click unidirectional bezel, feels pretty good. Come back for the full review for more details, including a loom shot on this one. But in the meantime, let's get it on wrist. Hey, looks good, doesn't it? I must say, nicely proportioned, it feels like it fits the wrist nicely, bit of curvature to the lugs. I would have loved to have seen 20 mil lug width or more of a taper on the bracelet. Perhaps it feels a bit clunky, and it's a very long clasp. I'll show you how long the clasp is. You're not going to struggle getting this over a big hand, but it just about gets away with it. Otherwise, it would be sitting a little awkwardly underneath my wrist. Orient pressed into the clasp there, and it is just a press clasp as you saw, but hey, I'll take a lot of idiosyncrasies if you give me a piece of sapphire crystal covering that dial. Overhead shot, as I said, it doesn't look or feel like a 42. I tend to go for 40s. I think this looks like and wears more like a 40 than a 42, which I think is good news. Obviously with the SKX, you had the choice of two. You had the 43 and the 38.5 if you went for the 013. They've kind of split the difference with this one, and I think they've got it spot on. So what are my dastardly plans for the Orient Kamasu then? Well, obviously I'm going to give this one a full review solo, see how it stands up on its own merits as a $200 budget dive choice. But I did just pick up yet another Seiko SKX. This is actually a 009, but I've modded it. I'll put it back to original. And over here, I had to buy myself a Christmas present. I bought one of those new Seiko 5s, the SRPD 57K1 in black with gold accents. I'm going to put all three of them head to head to see which of the two here is indeed the best replacement for the SKX. I already think I know the answer to that one though, and I'm sure you already know the answer as well. So far so good then, a pair of black beauties, my last double unboxing of 2019. You know what, $200, $300, for $500 you've got two pieces of a three-piece collection. Add in something a little bit dressy and I think you'd be onto a real winner for around $700. Maybe that's an idea for another video. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you then, if not before.